All right. My interview tonight, my newsmaker for the night is the charismatic Pastor Prophet Mboro, who joins us here at Linden. Tate Moruti, dumela.
Dumela ntate.
Thank you so much for your time. Man, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I had a guest here, Tatema Boshobocho. I'm sure you know him. He's a journalist out in the Val. I think he's now with Radio Veritas. And at the time, at some point, he was a journalist at Theta FM. And he made some serious allegations. And of course, in the same show, I've invited those who were implicated in what he was saying to say our platform is here for people to respond if indeed wrong things were said about them. So I want us to take a look at the clip of what he said so that which will summarize that, and then we can have a conversation about that. But I also want to talk to you about other things. I haven't talked to you in a while. And thank you again for being here. I want to talk to you about other issues in society. Our society seems to be in trouble of all of the violence. Even this evening, we heard of somebody who passed away in Joburg, xenophobic violence, gender-based violence. We seem to be in trouble as a nation, and I would like to hear what the man of God has to say about these and many other things. But for now, let's take a look at that clip to hear what Mabocho Bocho had to say about Pastor Mboro and others.
The guy who is actually a source is the one who said, no, look, these guys are practicing witchcraft.
Yeah.
And suddenly, when he went on air, suddenly people started to come in. And people started to tell us their stories, their experiences.
So people approached you with the information from particular churches? From
the very same churches, some of them.
Yeah.
And people also in the communities.
Yeah.
Yes, across, actually. Therefore, that is when this started to be interesting. And again, it was interesting because the very same people, Belong they are practicing witchcraft.
Yeah.
Are the very same people who are claiming to be helping people to get out of the witchcraft, so to speak.
Did they mention any particular people? Because this sounds too serious to be just generic. Why did you take a keen interest as a radio station then on this particular story? Who were they talking about?
For example, Mboro was mentioned.
Mboro?
Yes.
Okay.
Bishop Zondo was mentioned. Apostle Mukwena was mentioned. Yes. So remember, in Mboro, we were not the first people to talk about Mboro in the media. Before that, there were some incidents or some cases that were reported in the media that he's actually a false prophet, so to speak. So we were not the first ones. So it's just that in our case, our story became much more stronger. Yes, and people started to be more interested to hear more about the story.
All right. If you've just joined us, we are joined by Prophet Mboro tonight here in Newsroom Africa. That Mboro, we could see what Mabocho had to say. What is your response to that? I mean, this sounds like quite a serious allegations that, you know, when we look at prophets, men of the cloth and so on, we don't associate it with witchcraft. And this seems to be somebody who seems so if you're confident with these allegations, that it's worrisome. What is your response?
You know, this thing, it's something that cost me millions and cost me a reputation. I underestimated it. That time I was not the way I am now. People were saying, leave these things.
Yes.
They will just die down. Mabocho Bocho is a fraud. He's not a journalist. Mabocho Bocho is a thief. They praise me, Theta FM,
yes,
as a good prophet. Because in the Val, Satanism was very rife. Even now.
Even now?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a slot, Theta FM. Police, you can just make a follow-up.
Yes.
That time, they were bringing children in the studio in the police van because they couldn't do anything, and I'll pray for them. People were dying, I will bury them. I even built houses there. They stopped even one of the opening of the houses. They said, it's the devil. It's built by the devil, it will not be opened. Now you talk of people who don't read the Bible, who don't go to church, who claim to be fine. They were attacking Bishop Zondo and Apostle Mboro, playing my clips from the TV when I was still on TV.
Yeah.
Healing people and doing whatever. There's a kid who had a rotten body. They called him Spuda. I prayed for him, God healed him. They intimidated that family to come and say the boy was not healed. And it was on TV, he was healed. Now, the point, here is a very serious, and they were playing me, praising me. Then I said, no, man. You can't lift me up and destroy other priests. We are not friends, we are not related, but...
Also, they were using what you said to, in a sense, to humiliate the other colleagues. In the
miracles I do through God, they will play them on the radio and say, here's the right prophet.
I see, whereas the others are false.
These are the bad ones.
Yeah.
I said, I don't mind you praising me, but what you're doing, guys, I was not part of that. And number one, I'm from Ekurhuleni. If you can walk with me in Ekurhuleni or anywhere, people, they go crazy when they see me. They've never, how do I become a witch where I don't even have a branch? So I went to them and said, no, please stop this thing. They had deals with Bishop Zondo. That went sour about the Sidibeng TV and all that. They were fighting their own battles. That time I didn't understand the politics of the Val. So after stopping them, they said, now we'll tend to you. I said, no, you can't blackmail me. Mabocho, you know the way this guy was suffering. His shirts here, they were torn. Because I was helping people, I'll buy them food, they will have this and that, and give them. But I said, then they made a demand. You know, if you want to be safe, give us $500,000. I said, you see now, that I'm not going to do it.
This was Mabocho in his personal capacity or as part of Theta?
Mabocho, he was a DJ at Theta FM. He had a guest called Mukoto. Okay, they worked together. We were meeting outside that meeting. And there is a clip where he was even saying, that Mboro Kimsaro. You know, right there. It is said how these people misleaded the people of the Val, caused chaos, people died. And I fought for Bishop Zondo and Apostle Mboro. People were getting healed live. They will say, every time people get healed, here is a prophet. I don't like being lifted at the expense of others. Whether they are what or what.
Okay, so let's zone in on Mabocho. You are saying he's a fraud. In other words, you don't think that whatever he has raised, right? Because I'm sure he only told us a snippet of the whole radio show, so I'm sure he talked about many things, right? In your experience with him, there's never anything genuine that he has raised which could have been a complaint from the community against you, for your ministry, or things that he would bring to your attention as a man of God.
We ended up 3 years in court.
Over this?
Yes.
Tell me more.
But he was not in court. Mabocho was not in court.
Okay.
And these people, they organized thousands of people to kill me. I had security. And I said to them, shoot. But don't shoot in the flesh, shoot up, because this community, when they come here, no, they said, no, let them come closer. You know, and then we'll shoot them. I said, no, I don't want anyone dying in my name. Point the firearms, and then I pushed, and they did that. The people moved out. These people controlled the police. They were guarded with bulletproof vests, escorted by the police, calling me a witch, calling me all these things.
Yeah.
Now, the people I fought for, I thought, you know, I'm protecting the body of Christ, will sit as men of God and address these issues. Unfortunately, they were supported by ANC, you know, politicians were going there. I was left alone. In everywhere, I was defending, and then I ended up being the way I am. Thousands of people came. If there was no God, they were crying there, the teachers, making, people were coming, they bought alcohol for them and all that. But because God being good,
Yeah.
We had a meeting. There's a lady who was a member of parliament. They sat down and we talked. When they went there and checked, I'm having a meeting, people are saying, you know, the board of TETA, they said, no, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
You see, the sad part is up to the provincial level, they were blackmailing even the former mayor. You know, he had issues, they had his pictures, and said, you must support, or they ended up getting jobs, you know, in the municipality. There was another journalist, ended up coming and saying, all right, give me a job, you know, I will do this and this and this. I was paying the guy, took off with my car. You know, I lost cars, they trashed in that night. You know, or Mercedes-Benzes or Chrysler.
But why were they victimizing you? It sounds like they were now out to get you, the way you are describing this thing. In summary, why do you think they would go to be out to get you? I want you to just talk to me about that after the break. Also, in one of the allegations, there is this thing of false prophecy. And I want to talk about it because you yourself have accused one or two of these priests or pastors. In fact, this one who rose people from a dead or whatever to say, please, we can't do that. And I want to know from you whether are we in the body of Christ speaking out enough about things that give the ministry a bad name. But let's talk about that after the break. We're talking to Pastor Mboro. He's kindly agreed to talk to us here at Newsroom Africa tonight. And if you've just joined us, you can also follow our show on #YourView on 405. Let's take a break.